Hello vinyl community, this is Matt. Today I'm on my way to a swap meet, which I haven't been to before, so we'll see what it's like. I'm not going to have a lot of time. Got kind of a late start today. By the time I get there, it's only going to be open for about another 30 minutes. So hopefully everybody hasn't packed up. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious to see if we have anything vinyl or music related. I've kind of been thinking about getting a Walkman as well, you know, classic portable cassette player. Just I don't know, just because it'd be nice to have in the car, take it to work. I'm sure it'll get a few funny looks and so on. But you know, I could buy one off eBay, sure. But yeah, I thought I'd see if there's anything at the swap meet, and I'll probably hit up some thrift stores after that. Luckily, even if you know, the swap meet's winding down by the time I get there, there are a few thrift stores around that area. It's not a million miles away from the one of the Goodwills and the Savers that I quite often go to, and there's some other like antique store type places dotted around there as well. So yeah, we'll see what we find, and yeah, stay tuned. So the swap meet's actually at a drive-in movie theater. I have to admit, I've never been to a drive-in movie theater in my life. It's been embarrassing. I've lived in the US for more than 12 years. A drive-in's a kind of a US thing, you know, a cultural thing. I've never ever been to one. Considering this thing's supposed to wind down in about 25 minutes, there's a ton of people here, so I don't know, we'll find out. I mean, the place is huge, but I haven't seen any records or anything like that. I went past one Spanish-only CD deal, but yeah, nothing else yet. So yeah, I keep looking, but yeah, there's still a ton of people around. There must be hundreds of like stalls set up here. Yeah, very cool. Alright, so in the nick of time, right before everything was going to close up, I did find a guy who was selling several boxes of records. And so I picked out a few of them, and I think I got a pretty decent deal, you know. Don't be afraid to try to haggle the prices down, which is what I did, because originally this should have been $26 for the records that I got. The guy then said, I then asked him, okay, what's the best deal you can do? He said 22. I then offered him 20. He said sure. So, you know, saved $6, I guess, if you look at it that way. There's one record in particular that I'm very pleased to have found. I wouldn't call it a grail as such, but you know, it was a very nice find, particularly for the price. So anyway, let's start out with the kind of more common records. So Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Night Moves. The only album I have of his is Against the Wind. I do not have this album. Still has a shrink. Shrink's seen better days, but it's still in the shrink. Still has the original price sticker on it, actually. And yeah, the title track Night Moves is turned terrific songs, so I thought, what the heck. This was in, he had like a few boxes that were like 2 for $5, and so I got this along with a few others, and I thought, it's not bad. You know, if I'm paying like $2.50, and I guess because I negotiated the price down, you could say it ended up being a little bit less. You know, $2.50 is okay. It's not too bad, and it's in really nice condition, very nice condition. It's on one of my most hated labels of the 70s, which is the orange, well, reddish orange Capitol. Same label that I have Abbey Road on, actually, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Next up we have Wake Up Everybody by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. I've been looking for this album for a while, purely because it has Don't Leave Me This Way on it, which is a fantastic, you know, that song's been done by a number of people, you know, Thelma Houston, the Communards did a pop version in the mid-80s, but yeah, Harold Melvin, that's pretty my favorite version of that song. Again, still in the shrink. It's not sealed, it's been opened, but it's still in the shrink. Still has a very nice inner sleeve. Beautiful. And this is on the Philadelphia label right here. I'm pretty sure this is a first pressing. Should be an original pressing, yeah. And I don't even know if I know any of the other songs on here, to be absolutely honest. But yeah, Don't Leave Me This Way. Yeah, I don't immediately recognize any of the other song titles. But again, for what was really less than $2.50, couldn't pass it up. Okay, next up we have Huey Lewis and the News 4. I do have this on cassette, but do not have it on vinyl. And again, I thought, you know, if I saw this at a thrift store and it was $2, $2.50, I would absolutely buy it. Record's in beautiful condition on the Chrysalis label here. And actually, you know, I'm hoping for good things from the vinyl, because the tape is one of the best sounding cassettes that I have. It's on chrome tape, sounds absolutely fantastic. So yeah, you know, there's a little bit of edgeware here, but nothing too serious. Again, couple of bucks, why not? Next up we have Bob Dylan, Nashville Skyline. This, somewhat surprisingly, was also in the 2 for $5 pile, and I couldn't pass it up. It's been taped a little bit at the top, which really annoys me. Don't tape it. Most of these repairs can be done with wood glue. In fact, I can already see that this could have just been glued together. Wouldn't have been a problem. But now I'm stuck with the tape, because if I try to remove it, it's probably going to take part of the sleeve off with it. So, but again, for the price, a bit of ring wear as well. But it's really not in bad condition. And in fact, the record's in beautiful condition. I'm thinking this is a first press. I'm pretty sure it is. Just from the matrix number and the fact that it's on the white Columbia, the Columbia label with the white lettering. Of course, later on in the 70s, they switched to the yellowy gold lettering. And yeah, it just looks beautiful. You know, and I've said this before, I'm not a massive Dylan fan, but I'm not going to pass up one of his albums on the cheap. You know, especially one of his better known albums, some of his earlier stuff like this. This is from the early 70s, I think, like 71. I don't see the copyright. I think it's from like 71. But yeah, and I do know a number of the songs on this. Girl from the North Country, Lay Lady Lay, that's an absolute classic. I mean, that really is. So yeah, very pleased to find that. Next up we have Elvis, Aloha from Hawaii via satellite. This is a, to the best of my knowledge, I've never listened to it, but a live album from the 70s, recorded in Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm getting my H's tripped up. I got this because somebody on a Facebook group I belong to said they have been looking for this for like years. So I got it thinking, well, it must be super rare, right? Or, you know, and if the price was right, the guy wanted $6 for it. I thought, yeah, if the price, what the heck, I'll take a chance on it. Turns out, at least from looking it up on Discogs, it's really not particularly rare at all. You can find it for cheap, and I didn't really get a good deal on it. I mean, I got sort of retail price. You know, it's worth $5 to $10 probably. And given the condition, it probably is worth a little on the higher side. It is in nice condition. Gatefold, very cool. This has, I guess these are maybe the places that, well, I was thinking these might be the places he toured at, but no, I think it's just different languages. You can see different languages that say "We love Elvis." So you've got "We love Elvis" in, you know, French and Korean, Japanese, English, of course. So very cool. Double LP set. Records in very nice condition indeed. The sleeves are in nice condition too, as the inner sleeves. And I love this picture. Check that out. Isn't that cool? Elvis doing his thing, surrounded by Hawaiian ladies. Now, interestingly, I don't know if this is quadraphonic. It says quadradisc, which, and the discs are absolutely immaculate. They're beautiful. It's a little bit of a funny thing because although it says quadradisc, it just says stereo on the record itself. So I'm not 100% sure. I think they should play okay on regular stereo turntables. I'm guessing. We're gonna find out. But I don't think there's any information in here about the quadraphonic business. Like this sleeve, I think, is the same as the other one. Yeah. Record, it's the same thing. Just says stereo on it. You know. But again, this record's in just mint condition too. Really, I don't like to overuse that word, but it really is like, it's like really not a mark on it. So I'm going to be curious to find out how that sounds, especially how it sounds in stereo, if indeed it is a quad record. Alright, and then finally, last but not least, this was the best deal I got, I thought. It's another Elvis record, and it's the self-titled record right here. Still in the shrink. You know, with a lot of these records, you don't know if this is the original shrink or not. You don't. Somebody could have reshrunk it at some point, but it looks old. I mean, I can see on the edge here there's a lot of discoloration, so I'm pretty sure that the guy didn't just like stick it in the shrink wrap yesterday, you know. This album was originally released in 1956 or 7. It'll tell me. 1956. This is the first pressing of the stereo version that was released in 1961 or 62. I forget. Let me have a look. Let me see if it says. Yeah, I don't know. 61 or 62. Prior to that, all of the editions of this have been mono. You know, the original 1956 version was mono. Any subsequent represses were mono. And then in the early 60s, stereo started becoming more common, more prevalent, and so the Elvis's first album was re-released in stereo. And you'll see it says electronically reprocessed. What that really means is going to be one of those duophonic deals where fake stereo probably. But again, the guy originally wanted $10 for this, but he had it framed. And I was I looked at it, oh, you know, because I knew that if it was a first stereo pressing, it was worth a little bit of money. But I didn't want to start taking the frame apart because, you know, the guy's trying to sell it with the frame. But he came over and said, oh, you know, do you want to look at the record? I can take it out. So he did, and I looked at it, and it's absolutely beautiful. It really is. On the RCA label, again, if this isn't mint, it's very close to it. RCA Victor. Very cool. And yeah, I thought, yeah, I've got to get it for that. I didn't know what it was worth. It's not worth hundreds. It's not like that Buddy Holly, that Chirping Crickets album that I found several weeks ago. But it probably is worth $30, maybe something like that. So I figured that's just from looking on Discogs. I figured that, you know, I couldn't leave it there. And it's still got the original sleeve in it. Original inner sleeve. which I thought was very nice indeed. And in fact, it's possible that it even has this record. You can see somebody's drawn on it a little bit here, but yeah, but that's all right. Probably a kid who owned this back in the early 60s. A little bit of tape on the inner sleeve, which is interesting. I don't see that very often. People usually don't tape inner sleeves, but yeah, I was really thrilled to find this for, well, again, the guy wanted 10, but seeing how I only paid 20 for 6 records, I don't really know what I ended up paying for this, but it definitely wasn't 10 bucks. There's the back of it. Yeah, I only have a couple of Elvis albums, and they're both like greatest hits ones. I have his Elvis Golden Records, and I have a much later one from like the 80s, like a double album with a bunch of his songs on it. So yeah, those are the only 2 that I have now that are sort of the time, of that era. They were released you know, during Elvis's lifetime, I guess, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, very pleased. 20 bucks. Yeah, so again, don't be afraid to haggle the prices down. In this case, this was at like a swap meet, and you guys probably saw the place is huge. I probably only covered half of it when I was only able to walk through about half of it because I only had 30 minutes, and it only cost 75 cents to get in, to park. I mean, they probably make a killing. They must make thousands. I mean, this swap meet happens like 3 times a week, so I'm already thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna have to come back, because probably the guy that I bought those records from, probably he restocks every now and then. I'm sure that there are some other vendors that I just didn't get to. I didn't have time to go through one whole section of it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little expedition. I am going to go on real quick, probably, to stop by Goodwill, maybe Savers, what the heck, they're not too far from here, so I might as well go see if they have anything real quick. So I might be back, so I'm not gonna wrap this up yet. I'm gonna swing by those thrift stores, so I may be back shortly. Alright, so I did go in Savers. No spectacular finds, but a couple of CDs, Soundtrack to Shaft. Don't have it on vinyl or anything. I think I do have the title track on a compilation album, but yeah. Pretty Hate Machine, 9 Inch Nails. I'm gonna be honest, I know nothing about 9 Inch Nails. I couldn't name one song of theirs except what's on here now. So what the hell? I thought it's a good way to find out more about them. I mean, I know of them, but that's about it. I got one book, the 100 Best Singles, Rock and Roll, the 100 Best Singles, by probably some self-proclaimed expert, Paul Williams. I don't know who he is, but yeah, I don't know, but I thought it might be an interesting read. It was only like a couple of bucks, so why not? Alright, so I guess I'm gonna go and rock out, or whatever one does when one listens to 9 Inch Nails. And yeah, alright, till next time. Thanks guys for watching. Bye bye.